And we're going to start off with the most simple things, seaport etiquette, because that is important. All right, so first of all, this is not your seaport. This is everyone's seaport. So try not to block pads and stuff when you're doing things. So you'll be moving trucks up a lot and such, and you can park your truck like right here and have access to the seaport without blocking the pads. So you always want to try to park in such a way that somebody else can get in if you can, so on and so forth. You're just always trying to keep it clear, because especially like in Terminus right now, it is horrible because of how many people there are. So like the brand new privates that don't have a clue, that are pulling stuff out that they can't use and everything else, it's just not a great time. So just always try not to be that guy and you'll be alright. And if y'all want to come shimmy on over here, the reason we're here is because we're out of the way and we're not going to get ran over. And if you go ahead and press E on the seaport, we can see a bunch of stuff here right now. On the left, you got the seaport inventory, which is kind of like a truck inventory or the inventory on a shipping container. It can't really put much in there. Below that, you'll see your backpack, and then in the middle, you got all kinds of different tabs and drop downs and stuff like that. So we're just gonna kind of cruise through this real quick. Looking at the tabs up top, they're all labeled as you click on them. So you got item crates all the way across till you get to vehicle crates and shipping containers and structures, and you'll kind of learn what's in all of these as you go. So basically what I already said, which wasn't much, is
you
seaport
might die
etiquette.
if you move too fast.
Try not to block pads, because pads you gotta have to be able to pull things in and out, and you can be in a truck accessing the seaport while someone's pulling stuff out on the pads and whatnot. Just remember, it's everybody's seaport, so try really hard not to be a nuisance kind of thing.
People will shoot you if you're a nuisance.
Yeah. Also, just so y'all know, I muted local, so if you need to say something, you gotta say it in here, just so that we don't hear like Mr. Squid over here. Anyways, so where we're at, we're over here on the side rail because we're out of the way. That way, we're not gonna get ran over, which is a good time. And if you go ahead and click E on the seaport, you can see a bunch of different stuff. Our important tabs are in the middle. You can see there's a bunch of white tabs across the top. Most of them are item crates. The first one is kind of everything for the most part, and then it filters down into like weapons, heavy weapons, like tank ammo and stuff, and so on and so forth. And this is kind of where you'll find everything. Moving on from the right on that, there's a little drop down that says public, and if you click on that, you can see there's a bunch of different private stockpiles in there, and you can click on all of those and see different stuff. But if you do not have access to that stockpile, which you can tell by looking at the bottom, where you can see there's more buttons. I clicked on the 404th, for example. I can't actually click on any of these buttons because I don't have access to the stockpile. And you can always put stuff into a private stockpile, but if you don't have access, you can't take things out. Just below that, you got some buttons. Not all of them are going to be highlighted right now. It's under the actions menu. You got one that says submit to stockpile. You have a submit to large item. You have a submit vehicle. You have a submit loading area equipment. Okay, so we're going to do that again. So public and private queues. Okay, you can see anything that anybody has set to public, but you cannot access them unless you have been given the code, and then you can take things out as well. You can always put in, but you cannot always take out. Across the bottom is the actions menu, and there's a lot of buttons down there, and some of them are the same as like a bunker, and some of them aren't. Your important ones are for a seaport and a storage depot are probably submit vehicle, submit loading area equipment, and package loading area equipment, as far as just taking stuff in and out day to day. Also, some of the ones you have white right now, you have a big plus that says create reserve stockpile, and there you can make your own stockpile. Next to that, you have a little keypad looking one that says access reserve stockpile, and that's where you can punch in the codes if you have a code to access a private stockpile. And then you have the best button in existence, which is the little clock with the check mark on it, and that is refresh reserve stockpiles, because reserve stockpiles only last for, I think it's 52 hours before they go public. So you got to come back and refresh it all the time so that it doesn't go away. Now, if you put something into it, that also resets the timer. But in the case of like the 69th, for example, you got to make sure that, you know, we're keeping these up to date and we don't let them go away. And then you also have a couple different logs, but they're not as important. So, for example, if everybody wants to click the Create Reserve Stockpile, which again is the plus button, it's going to pop up a name, and then everybody can make their own reserve stockpile if they would like. You can also delete it just as quickly if you go through the menu and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I see more buttons and I'm content. Or you can leave it there and it'll expire in a few days anyways. But that's as simple as that is.
And if it expires, it just goes to the public. I don't know if Taco already said that. So it's still supporting the war effort.
I think I did, but human factors just to make sure.
You are not limited to one stockpile either. You can have a total of 3 per storage depot or seaport.
Next thing I want you all to do is click the keypad one, and I want everybody to punch in 233192. And once you get into that, up in the top right, where we were talking about public and private stockpiles, it should say 69th temp. Do y'all see that?
Yep. Yeah, go.
Okay, perfect. So in here, I've stashed some trucks for us, and that is the only thing in the stockpile. If you go clicking on through, you're not going to see anything until you get to the 2 truck icons. Now, the reason there's 2 truck icons, there are vehicles that you can pull out right now and use, and there are packaged vehicles. Packaged vehicles come in 3, all right? And you can't just drive that vehicle away because it is packaged. And the way you unpackage it is in the stockpile. You can right-click on that crate of vehicles and unpackage it either into a reserve stockpile or to the public stockpile. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yep.
I find this important because literally yesterday in Terminus, some brand new dude to the game pulled out a crate of vehicles that he couldn't do anything with. And then he didn't know how to fix it, so he just left it there, and we had to, undo that. So, if y'all would, go ahead and pull yourself out a hauler, and since nobody else is here right now, you can just go ahead and click it. Click on the R1 hauler. It'll pull it out, and then you can go run out and grab your truck. If you got the thing that said no room on pad or something along those lines, you just got to let one of them guys move. And then
have you
do it.
Gone over the nice way to park in front of a storage depot?
Nope, I was waiting to get the vehicles out. Also, gents, this over here, this yellow tank looking thing is fuel. So if you park close enough to it, you can access the inventory of your truck and refuel it because you definitely don't have enough fuel right now.
Every time you pull the trucks out, they will only have a tiny bit of fuel, so it's good to always remember.
And it's also good practice to lock and squad lock your vehicles so that nobody comes and borrows things permanently. Into fuel, you have to get out of the truck, and then while standing at the door, press E, and then you'll notice that there is a fuel icon in there. This makes me glad we didn't have 15 people. Yes, locking is L. That is the way to do it while in the vehicle. Also, by pressing E while you're standing outside of it, you can see icons. And if you want Shug, if you access your truck, you can just press E next to the door. That should give you the truck stuff. And then I think it's down at the bottom is a little fuel button. And you can click it, and it should start fueling.
Sorry, that's in the trucks menu?
Yes, in the truck's menu itself. And if you didn't get the truck, Shift E on the truck. And it's not in the bottom, it's in the top. Under status. There you go.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, okay.
And y'all will have to let his truck get full. There's only one hose allowed at a time. and then you guys will also have to refill your trucks. Who's next?
I taught Razor this earlier, but Shrug, do you know how squad locking works?
No, I don't.
Okay, so if you know how when you lock a vehicle, you can get in and out of the truck, even with it still being locked?
Yep.
I can't get in your truck, but if you wanted to allow the people in this squad to pull stuff out of your truck or get the truck if they need to move it or something, but you still want it locked to enemies and other teammates that aren't in the squad, that is what squad lock is for. If you get out of the truck, it's in the same menus you looked at before.
I, for some reason, can't get gas in my truck.
Who? Mr. Shakes?
I'll take a look.
Yeah.
You need to be physically closer. You're too far from the yellow can back there. So once
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Wing backs his truck up, you can get close. And if anybody's watching the stream, I might have forgot to mention I am streaming in Discord so everybody can see what I see. The squad lock button is down. It's one of the little clock buttons in actions.
No, my truck says it's completely out of gas.
Go ahead and squad lock real quick. So I have a little clock looking thing at the bottom when you're in the inventory of the truck.
Oh, do you have to equip the can?
Yeah, if you are using a can to fill it and are not filling straight from the fuel like this guy's doing, you have to equip it and then pull it out and then click when you're near. Yeah.
So I just have a quick question about getting this truck. Is this like best practice to come here and look in the regiment?
So I always
Reserve
look in
for
public
trucks?
first unless there's a
Same.
vehicle I specifically want. Like, I looked for a Jeep earlier because I like driving the Jeep, but the Jeep isn't great for logistics, which is why we have these. Also, a lot of times you can just find them parked all over the place. There's usually a parking lot somewhere where people leave vehicles out and unlocked, and if there's something there, I'll grab from there. I just made sure this was prepped for us today so that you guys also knew how to access a reserve stockpile, and later we'll put them back into the reserve stockpile just so that everybody knows how to do it.
The nice thing about pulling a truck from public is when you're done with it, you can just put it in another public stockpile anywhere and it'll be used by the next guy.
So, as I was saying over at the seaport, talking about being nice and such, I can access the seaport from where my truck is parked right now, and somebody can still pull a pallet onto that area over there. And also, you can see the way Mish and Shakes are parked. Shug can squeeze in here so that we can have 3 vehicles accessing a seaport at once. You always want to try to park in such a way where other people can access. So like if you had a flatbed right now over where this crane is, you could park a flatbed over there, still be out of everybody's way, and there can be 5 people using the seaport at the same time, because you could have another flatbed over next to the fuel container. So always try to stay out of everybody's way. It's a team
Park
effort
like you don't-
after all.
Yeah, park like you would in real life.
And Chemical, if you want to get in, we are about to go down and get some salvage.
Sick. I'll probably meet you there. I'm going to make a truck that I'm going to upgrade later.
Too easy. Alright, so if everybody would like to follow me, we're heading out of town. And luckily there's only one way out, so find your way there, and then we'll convoy out. Chemical, if you want to be a hero, you could bring
Yep.
some sledges up for us, because I forgot to grab
Alright.
some. Alright, let's see if
And a sledge is just a faster hammer, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but it also opens up some of the higher tier resources, like that you can't mine with the hammer.
Yep.
Got it. For salvage, that is correct, though. And for coal.
On the bottom left when you're driving, you have a little mini map. We're gonna stay left and do the little zigzag road and cross the bridge. And when driving, just because we're doing it, and I got nothing better to say at the moment, always try to stay on your side of the road, because it decreases crashes, this makes everybody else's life easier, and if you got somebody that's faster than you, usually try to let them pass. Just scoot over real quick, let them do their thing, because they might have, somewhere they need to be. especially if you're like in a tank or something that's really slow, let logistics go by. And we're gonna make a right into this salvage field over here, which you can see on the map with the little screw icon. Okay, looks like I got everybody. So until Chemical gets here, whip out your hammers and start filling your trucks. That's the plan at the moment. One thing to note about salvage fields, they drop things called tech mats, and all you really need to know about them is refine them and put them in the refinery. I think it was Shug I just seen got some.
Yeah.
I'm full.
If you're full, help everybody else get full, because in theory, everyone is squad locked. And by full, we're talking about your truck.
Alright.
Just to be clear, you're trying to fill your truck up full of salvage. I haven't explained that part well.
You may already know this, but if you have too much on you, and weigh too much, you cannot enter a vehicle.
And there's 3 places you can access the R1 hauler. Both of the doors and the back. You just walk up and press E like you guys have done so far.
Q.
Not to get into access inventory.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
And sledgehammers would have just made this process faster, but I got a feeling we're going to be full before Chemical even gets here, but that's my fault anyways.
I should have just grabbed the regular truck from Public, but I've been wanting to upgrade another one. I also thought originally you were going to the other field before I realized it was empty.
So if you access inventory by pressing E, there's a little clock icon that says reserved for active squad.
Okay, you're good.
Perfect. Squad lock is important. We use it a lot for tank ops and such. And the truck I just marked is not full yet.
I filled it up.
Oh, did you just right now?
Yeah.
Okay, correct.
What should I do with the extras on me?
So what you can do is awkwardly walk up to one of the other dudes and drop it on the ground and click H and do a look here mark. But it has to be done awkwardly.
Okay, I got you, I got you.
Or you can pop it in my truck.
Yeah, make sure all of our trucks are full first.
I have room for 2 more stacks in mine.
I'm gonna be there soon, so you can fill up my truck
I
as
did
well.
it very awkwardly.
Nice. Alright, we do have one
Bonus
more
points.
truck that needs 2 stacks. You got 2 stacks right there? Actually, I'm just going to pull them out of my truck. More concerned about y'all having salvage than me. Okay, so everybody's got salvage, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to go back to the town we were just in at Keelhole. Then we're going to meet up by the refinery, which on the map is the little hammer icon.
Does weight affect your vehicle speed or just trim?
Yes.
Yes. Alright, and y'all need the front side of the refinery, which is the side I just marked. And just like at the seaport, etiquette is a thing. So you need to pull up close enough to it. You get the prompt to press E to use refinery, but you don't want to block everybody else from having access, so try to stack in an orderly fashion best you can. And I think I'm on the very edge, so everybody has to be closer to the TFV dude over there. So as you can see, you can get a lot of vehicles at a refinery if you park well. Okay, so everybody go ahead and press E. And in the refinery, you have the refinery inventory on the left, just like we had with the seaport. Below that, bottom left, you have your vehicle inventory. And in the middle is all the different things that you can make here. So if you got any tech materials, you can see there the very bottom thing, there's iron, copper, and aluminum. And if you did get any of those while we were mining, you can go ahead and just click and refine those, and then I'll tell you what to do with that after here in a minute. What we're going to go ahead and do here is at the very top one, you can see it's salvage, and it takes 2 to 1 into basic materials. And basic materials are used for basically everything. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. You got 2 options. You can either right click on the salvage icon and click submit all, or you can shift click and it will do the same thing and take everything out of your truck and put it into that queue. You can also do this straight into public by changing that little drop down just above it to public, but then it's just going to go straight into the stockpile on the right where everybody can get it, and if that's what you're going for, awesome, but that's not what we're doing today. Also, it looks like somebody put their wreckage or salvage into this stockpile. Is everybody successfully crafting B-mats?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Alright, so most of you, it's probably going to say like 5, 6, 7 minutes somewhere in there. Okay. If I had more people, I would bother to do more right here. But we're going to go ahead and get out the way so this other dude can do, and I'm going to keep talking. Just go ahead and go behind the refinery. That'll be good enough for now. Alright, so the other piece that I was going to do here. If everybody opens their map, just southeast of us, there's 2 white icons, which are salvage mines. Does everybody see those okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Razor Wing, you get over there? Awesome. Okay, so those salvage mines fill up full of salvage all the time. If you were here yesterday for the facility tutorial, it's the same thing that we have up next to the base, but you can literally drive your truck up to it and press E and pull the salvage out into your truck. So they're like the easiest way to get salvage regularly if there's any close, which for us there's those 2. There's another one to the southwest, and then there's 3 more to our northeast. So there's salvage mines everywhere in this hex, which is awesome if you actually want to do a bunch of public lodging. And then you just keep dumping it into the refinery. You can have up to 25,000 salvage cooking in the refinery at once, which will make 12,500 B-mats for you. Chemical, anything to add at this point? I'm kind of buying time for B-mats to craft.
You've been really comprehensive, so I haven't felt the need to interrupt.
Cool. Well, it should have been long enough. Everybody should have some B-mats done. So go ahead and go back to the refinery, and you'll just click on the B-mat icon. There will be a number next to it, and it should just pull them straight into your truck.
Should I grab this aluminum alloy too?
That's a great point. Okay, the other option you have instead of pulling stuff into your truck, if you were to right click on your B-mats or the aluminum alloy or anything else, there is 3 options. You have retrieve all, you have retrieve as crates, and you have retrieve all to refinery. Okay, so retrieve all is just going to give you the materials usable into your inventory right now. Retrieve as crates will allow you to put them in the seaport or the storage depot or anything else like that. Okay, so crates are very important a lot of the time. You just got to pay attention for your use case. And then obviously retrieve to a refinery inventory is going to put it in the refinery stockpile, and that's where you want to put the tech mats or aluminum or whatever you just got.
So sorry, that was retrieve all to inventory refinery?
Yes. Perfect. And you can see on the left side it just dumped it in the inventory.
Oh yeah.
Oh, somebody did that for their B-mats. So whoever did that for their B-mats, put your B-mats in your truck. And shift click will take stacks. Awesome. There is
I
also
still have
Go ahead.
I still have B-mats being made.
That's perfectly fine. We need to have enough to do the next piece, and everybody should have enough after that.
Okay.
Shug, were you able to access the refinery? Do I need to move?
No, yeah, I'm good here.
Awesome. Okay. So, another thing you can do in the bottom under the actions panel, there's a submit all to stockpile, and I'm gonna click that, and you can see it just moved that aluminum alloy from where it was in the refinery inventory over to the stockpile. And all that does is it means people that look for that stuff to do something with it, they can see it on the map to know to come here to get it. Alright, so gents, we're going right here to these factories, and this is where all of your normal logistics goes. And same courtesy rules apply. Try to stack up so you're not in everybody else's way, which is very difficult in here because of them being so close together. But you just need to be in a spot where you can click E to use factory. So, to explain what you're looking at, you have the factory inventory on the left, just like before, your truck inventory, the bottom left, just like before, and then in the middle, you have production. And these tabs are similar to the seaport, and you can make all kinds of good stuff in here. This is where all your weapons are made. This is where all of your explosives are made. Tank shells, you can also do some of the artillery shells in here. Everything from radio backpacks to shirts to the whole 9 yards. So for the purpose of the exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to make shirts, which is under the medical tab. Okay, it's a little plus looking one. And under there you can see soldier supplies, which everybody calls shirt because it's literally a picture of a shirt. And for the exercise, I want everybody to just click on that once. And then on the right side, it says Q. You got some tabs we're not going to worry about at the moment. But down at the bottom, closer to the little plus icon, you'll see there is a little shirt in that little menu right there. And all you got to do to start it is click the plus. Not the plus, the play button. There we go. Everybody got it. Awesome. So you can see there's a timer on there. It's telling you how long. If you don't pick your stuff up when it's done, it'll stay in here for maybe 10 minutes. I don't know how long it is, but it's really short. And then it's public, and it'll pop up in that factory inventory on the left side. So then other people can come grab the stuff you made, which is fine, again, if that's your inventory or your intent. Also, you'll notice that it says personal next to that queue that you just made. You can change that to public. You can change that to any other channel you're actively in or any other squad. So say you want to start them and I said I'll come pick them up in 5 minutes. You can very easily just make it a squad everybody's in and go from there. And for logistics, we usually all use 6/9 Logi. I don't know if any of y'all have access to that, and I don't know what the plan is yet for you guys having access to that. So personal queues are probably your best bet for now anyways. You can queue up, you can have up to 6 people using a factory at once. But you could queue up something, you can queue up to 4 crates, because we're making a crate of shirts right now. You can do up to 4, but you could have 4 crates going in each one of the types. So like ammo, the explosives one, the tank shells one, so on and so forth, all the way down. You could fill all of these if you wanted to. Lots of waiting though. And once you... Did everybody get a green check mark that they can see?
Yeah, I already collected mine.
Okay.
Mine are ready.
Yours is ready. Shug, you good over there?
Mine's just making it right now.
You probably got, what, 10 seconds left?
36.
Okay. We're going to wait 36 seconds for Shug just because he clicked his go button a little bit late. And that way everybody kind of sees.
Sorry, team.
Look, the purpose of us doing this is so that you know. So if it takes you an extra half second, who cares?
I got a minute 20.
The more I can repeat this process, the better.
Yep,
Y'all
it's the best way to learn.
Y'all made more than one crate of shirts, didn't you?
Oh, I made one.
There could be more of a queue in one of them than the other.
That's true. I might have been the first one in there. I didn't consider that. The times will vary.
Oh, mine just said
If
that.
a lot of people are
started
using the
progress,
factories, then
Oh.
it'll be longer.
Yeah, and this one's dead, so it's literally just us. But anyways, once your queue is complete, there's going to be a green check mark where it had the red X before, where you can cancel it, and you can go ahead and click that green check mark, and it's going to move that crate of shirts you just made into your inventory of the truck.
Got it.
And from what I see, there's still one person who has 23 seconds left.
Yep.
Awesome. And you can kind of guess what's going on by looking. Everybody can see the time is still ticking away, even though you don't have a queue in here. And that's just because he has a queue. And if you were waiting, if you were the 7th person trying to get a queue snuck in here, you can click go as soon as it goes to 0 and get your queue set real quick. Because sometimes if there's enough people, it's a race. So everybody has their one crate of shirts now.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
One thing I am going to note. There are things in here that take more than basic materials and or BMATs. Okay. For example, if you were to click on a tank shell, that is going to take explosive powder as well as BMATs. So you would need to have both of those in your truck. Basic explosive powder is made in the refinery, just like we did the BMATs. It's just the second thing down or third thing down instead of making BMATs. So it's as simple as that. It just takes a little bit longer to cook.
It's the third under diesel. They take a lot longer to cook, so you have to keep that in mind. If you want a bunch of explosive powder, you gotta put a bunch in the refinery and then come back like the next day.
Alright. Making sense for everybody so far?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We're going on a nice long drive to the base now. Which, if you don't know, is directly north of us, so we either got to go back around the Curly Road, or you can change hexes and jump over. Whichever you prefer, doesn't matter to me. Is everybody able to hear me right now?
Yep.
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 Okay, cool. I want to make sure Shug made the border. So, good practices, alright? If you're going to run logistics, have a radio on your person, okay? I should have started with that, but radios allow you to see enemy players on the map if they're within watchtower range. And you, especially if you're doing frontline logi in the future, you definitely want to have a radio so you can see if there's going to be bad guys on the road, because they're going to win. So definitely try to keep that in mind when doing frontline logistics. Because by going to the base, we're simulating going to a front line to drop things off right now. I wanted to actually take a bunch of stuff to the front line, and then I realized it's 4 hexes away, and I didn't think y'all wanted to drive for an hour during the tutorial. I definitely...
Hey man, I'll do it.
Well, and everybody is welcome to do it. But for the purpose of this right now, I didn't think that would be productive.
Do you damage trucks when you hit stuff? Or vehicles in general?
Officially, no. And I say it like that because I keep getting damaged iron ships somehow. And all I do is crash into things. But the answer is supposed to be no.
Okay.
Trust me, I crash a lot. It'll be okay. There's a bunker just slightly farther up if you guys want to drive up next to that and make space for when the other one gets here.
Do you want us to just, like, leave the shirts and BMATs, or...?
We're going to talk about what to do with that, okay? So we just did a logistics run, okay? So what you do for frontline logistics to drop all that stuff off is you nose up to a bunker until you can see, press E to use bunker base. And I think, Shug, you can get stuffed up in here, yep. Everybody should be in range. You press E, and now you have access to the bunker base. And just like everything else we've talked about so far, there's an inventory on the left. Just below that is your truck inventory. And in the middle, this time, is actually the stockpile for the bunker you're looking at, okay? And you can see You got the tabs across the top that have all the different things, just like everything else we've done so far. Now what you're going to do is you're going to right click on your thing of shirts, and you'll get a context menu, and you can see you have transfer, you have submit to stockpile, submit all to stockpile, or split stack. If your inventory is all the way full, you can do submit all to stockpile, or you could just do submit to stockpile if you want to do a certain number of certain items. And you guys are welcome to just
Oh
submit
wait,
all to
I
stockpile.
had a wrench on me, but I crashed. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Where's the truck?
And in theory, the shirt number should have just went up. Alright, somebody put it in. There we go, figured it out. Yeah, it's just a right click, submit to stockpile. It puts it straight into the bunker base where people can actually use things. That makes sense for everybody?
Yep.
Awesome. So that's the basic concept of start to finish all the way through. Okay. Usually, as a logistical player, you will not do that, because this whole process, as you've noticed, takes a while, even though we made one crate. So usually, you got a couple different options. You can be backline logi, where you make a bunch of crates at the factories, and then you just stuff them into the stockpile, whether it's a seaport or whatever. You can take things out of the seaport and either run them straight to the front line, or move them to a storage depot that is closer to the front line. And then you have the people that will literally just check those storage depots that are close to the front line, and they'll pull straight out of those and go dump them into the bunker bases that need them. Okay. If you were to look at your map, for example, and zoom way out and look all the way north to where the front lines are, you'll see some orange map posts. And the orange map posts is people asking for things usually. I can see one that's asking for BMATs. I see one that says binoculars, medical, 7.62, bayonets and bombas, shirts. So you can look at the map post to see what everybody needs at, the particular bunker base that they're fighting at real easy. Or you can also just hover over a bunker core and it shows you everything that's in that bunker. So if you see they're almost out of shirts and there's shirts in a nearby storage depot, you can pull them and run them up there. Does all that part make sense for everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's just a whole process. You good over there, Shug? Did I lose your Shug?
Oh, sorry, I was just looking at the map.
No, it's all good. I just want to make sure everybody's good. There's no questions. I'm being clear, so on and so forth.
So I just had a quick question about the crate. So when you submit the crate from your truck to the bunker base, that's all that needs to happen to unpack it into individual shirts.
Exactly.
And then if you're doing something like frontline logi, it's just a game of looking at the bunker
Storage
bases,
depot.
what they need, and going to the close storage depot to pick it up.
Exactly. And that's usually, like I said, someone will pick one of the three pieces to do, or even do like two of them in one go, but usually you don't. Get a bunch of salvage, make a bunch of crates, and then run it all up, because that might be an hour and a half process. Whereas if there's a public storage depot close enough, you could have made 10 trips in that amount of time and kept everybody floating.
How do you know there's a public storage depot nearby?
So if you look at the map, there's two different icons you're looking for, and we can actually see both of those if we look back near where we are at. Easiest way to center your map, by the way, is if you click spacebar, it will center on where your character is, and that helps find where you are on the map. So
perfect.
if you zoom in real close to us, in Scuttletown, just right of the name, there's a little barn-looking building, and that is a storage depot.
Gotcha. Okay, so we have to manually look for them, I guess.
Yep, but you'll kind of learn where they are as you like pick a place to work from and work through it. And also on the left side, you can see you got bases and resources and structures and locations, all those different tabs. You can click on all of that stuff and disable everything but what you're looking for and make it really easy to find things. The other trick I use, you can also just repeatedly click on the thing you're looking for and it appears and disappears on the map almost like a flash. And that helps me find it because it's moving.
I just learned this too, but you can shift click and it'll give you
just
only
it
that
does,
one. Yeah.
I did not know that. That is beautiful.
But then you can't see the map posts. Oh, you can set them separately as well. Oh, that's really handy.
Yeah, you can. It's fully customizable. It's beautiful. The other building that you're looking for, if you look south from that storage depot, southeast, sorry, there is a seaport on the coast above Keelhaul. And that is the other, it's a storage depot, but it's on the water. It's beautiful, alright? Another nice little trick, okay, so we know that in Keelhaul, at that seaport, we have that private stockpile, and then obviously we can see the public stockpile right now. But next to where it says public on the seaport, it says press tab. And if you press tab, it will show you any stockpiles that you have access to. Did everybody find and see that successfully?
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice to have.
Y'all are in what's known as the R1 hauler. That's just the name of the vehicle. I am actually in an upgraded R1 hauler. I have white paint on my wheels, and that makes me faster.
He's in a syphilis.
Wow.
Yeah. They're a cheap upgrade. The downside, they burn more fuel. But they do have a speed boost, and they are faster, but they burn more
They
fuel.
also hold one less in the inventory. You have 14 instead of 15 slots.
Yeah. So, use at your discretion kind of thing, if you can find them anyways. Also, if you have B-mats, put them in this fancy truck next to us.
What's this one?
The fancy truck, I don't remember. It's called a rigger. It's awesome. It
Yeah,
has
touring
tracks.
rigger. It can also pull artillery pieces and AT guns and such. The ones that are on wheels, at least.
Yeah, it's got a good tow hitch on it. It's nice because it's fast, both on the ground, like right now in the grass, and on the roads. So it has its advantages, but it's really sloppy in its steering, so it can be really irritating to like drive around town doing factory stuff. It just depends on the situation.
It's
Somehow
also
I
the
locked
only.
myself out of this truck.
So what likely happened is it was squad locked, and somebody else in our squad locked and unlocked your truck at some point. And since the squad locked has run off, it is reverted to the last person who locked it. So somebody's getting the cone of shame. No, I'm kidding.
I can't open it.
Worst comes to worst, I can pick it.
Which truck was it?
This one, I think.
If you press...
Shug standing in front of it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was me. I'm the clown of the week. It's unlocked.
So about that cone.
I'll get a cone.
We
I ain't
don't do the dunce cap of shame anymore, do we?
I mean, officially it's in the Discord as a thing you can earn.
Yes, yes we do.
Well, I feel like I've done worse things without getting it, so I'm not going to vote for you getting it.
Alright, continuing about vehicles. Flatbeds are amazing. They have different things you can put on the back to include some smaller vehicles. The big ones though, you have a resource container that will hold like scrap or coal, those kind of things. You have a liquid container you can put back there which holds liquids, and there's a shipping container. The shipping container can hold 60 crates of something, which is great. So if you have crated items, you want to take a whole bunch from the back line to a front line storage depot, you can. But if it is in a shipping container, the only way to empty that shipping container is at another storage depot. So you got to make sure you're taking to a storage depot, because if you take it to a bunker, it's useless. They can't unload it. Flatbeds are also
Remember
slow.
how when you pulled stuff out of the storage depot, like your truck, it spawned on the pad? That is where you would need to place your shipping container to put things in it or take things out from there. And you would use a crane to do that.
Yeah, and that's not in the ground
So you also
scope
need to
of all of this.
make sure you have a crane if you're going to be using a flatbed going somewhere.
Yep.
Sorry, where was I supposed to put those B-mats? Did I miss my opportunity for that?
Just throw them in the bunker inventory.
Okay.
And if everybody wants to get in their trucks, we're going to go to the storage depot here real quick. Alright, gents, I have returned. So, this is a storage depot. It functions exactly like the seaport, except for it doesn't have 2 pads to pull out. It's only got the one. But all the concepts are the same. You got the tabs across the top. You got public, and then anything that you have access to and or visible. And the icon we're going to want, don't click it right now though, is going to be the little truck with the arrow above it that says submit vehicle. But what we're going to do is Super's going to come over here and make the 69th storage here visible so you guys can see it, so that you guys can put the trucks in here in our reservable stockpile. It just helps so that we don't put them in public, because once they're in public, anybody can grab them, and I'd like us to keep our trucks if we can, kind of thing.
69th Main, you said?
Yeah, you'll click the little public thingy, and it should say that.
Yeah.
If you can't see
I
it
see
yet,
it.
you do? Amazing. So once you click that, you can go ahead and click that submit vehicle button, and assuming there's nothing in your truck, it should disappear, and then it'll be in the stockpile.
Sorry, what'd you say, Tucker?
If you want to hop in this truck real quick, go ahead and press E, and then in the top right there's a little drop down. You're going to select 69th Main,
Yep.
and then in the bottom actions panel there's a little truck icon with an arrow above it. You'll click that and it's going to store the truck.
Beautiful.
And that's how you put your vehicles away when you're done, gents.
You guys are going to be doing some runs or
Do and
something
learn
else.
what seems fun to you, is my best advice. And just take it in those chunks.
I agree.
I mean, I like my sim games anyway. I don't mind driving around and stuff.
I'm about to go get heavy oil on a big ship.
Yeah, if y'all want to go do heavy oil ship things, chemicals about to do that, I might go help them. Nope, I'm out of time. So, does anybody have any questions about logistics? Anything that comes to mind? Whatever. You got the scope, but there's a lot of little things.
I don't really, because you kind of showed us by having us do it, and that's kind of how I learn well.
Well, that was
Yeah,
my
you covered it
That
well
was
for
the
me,
goal.
for sure.
I might need someone else to show me another time, but I'm happy to tag along with Chemical and do that oil stuff.
Well, and that's both of those are the main reason I'm gonna make these into videos. I'm literally just gonna cut out like the driving, unless I was talking about something important, so that you guys can always refer to this. And I'm gonna try to break it down so that you can find everything real easy. So that way Swede can catch what he missed amongst, other people helping him anyways. And that way, if you're like, man, I know there's a way to do this, but I don't remember, I've also been recording everything. So you can watch me do it, and I've been trying to make sure I'm doing the thing as I'm talking about it, so that when you guys do use this for a reference, it's easy because you can see it. It's just going to take me till probably Sunday before I get this one and the facility from yesterday done. But then I'll probably post them in general. Maybe just ping all the squires or something, because I think that's what y'all's tag is right now. And we'll just kind of work it from there. And then, of course, obviously, if you have questions, ask people. All right, we have a lot of experience in this regiment, but right now there's also just as many of y'all that are brand new, just learning. So ask away. Everybody's willing to help. some days I might, if I'm tired, I might be like, hey, super, real nice, like. But, like, everybody's here to help you. We're happy you guys are here. And honestly, you guys being here is going to allow us to do cooler things. Because when you have, like, 25 people online for an operation, you can run a lot of tanks with 25 people. Like, it's going to be
Or fire a lot of artillery constantly.
Yeah. So, like, the things
That's
that
what
you
I like to
guys
hear.
are going to be able to allow us to do is going to be amazing. And I'm super excited. But it just means we got to take the time as a group to teach y'all how to do everything so that you know what's going on. Because if it's as simple as, like, hey, Shakes, I need you to go to the storage depot and, pull out 40 mil ammo. Now you know how to go find your way to the storage depot and find the 40 mil. You might have to go find the icon because you're not familiar with it, but you can get most of the way there easily.
Yeah, I mean, what's like taking 30 minutes here and there to learn when the war lasts a month?
Yeah.
A lot of it you can learn as you're doing it, so you don't have to do like a specific. Now that we've gotten you started, you can play the game while you're learning, and that's the best way.
And don't be afraid to teach the other new guys the things that you learned, because you might surprise yourself. I did not know, I've been playing this game for like 3 years, that you could shift click on one of those things and disable everything else in the map.
I learned that from
contribute.
I learned that
How
from
do I
a
commend
YouTuber.
people, by the way?
What'd you say, Sweet?
You can either hold Alt and click on them if they are near you, or you can hit F1 and scroll to them if they're in the same region as you. You can also see everyone in the regiment on the right side.
Yeah.
The shift click I learned from a YouTube video before I even started playing.
It's amazing because I've seen a lot of videos too and don't remember that at all. And I've probably seen the same video you did. It's just you're not going to remember everything. There's so much in this game.
Oh yeah, I spent my
Especially
first 2
nowadays.
days. My first 2 days I spent not knowing I could rotate the damn map or the overhead.
Oh yeah, if you hold middle mouse button, you can rotate your camera around, by the way, if anybody in here didn't know that. Another fun one, you can also use period and comma, it'll do the same thing.
Yeah, it was super annoying having to attack downwards at times when there's barely any
yeah,
view.
Yep.